Ortiz, Benitez, and Cotto will forever live as boxing gods. Before losing to Salido, Lopez was on the verge of joining the all-time elite. Now, he fights to re-establish his reputation. Be sure that both Juanma and Salido understand the consequences of their first fight and the significance of this rematch.
I knew this was big. I knew he was considered the best in the division and is very well respected. And here I come. No one expected me to win.
It was my first professional loss. I felt very sad and depressed. All of my future plans were in jeopardy. I know I have to get back to winning. I was not focused for that first fight. I had personal problems. I was going through a divorce and my weight kept going up. I didn't feel like myself.
People don't give me credit. If he wasn't prepared, that's his mistake. I faced some of the best fighters in the world. He should have known Orlando Salido. I had to keep the pressure on him. The fight was close, but once he went down in the 5th round, I knew the victory would be mine.
Left hook, right hand! The champion! He's down!
I knew I needed to keep my distance, but I just couldn't do it.
In the 8th round, I was hurting him with every punch I threw.
Lopez in trouble! Salido can finish him here! Orlando Salido! That's it! What a fight!
For me, this rematch is the most important fight of my life. My future depends on it. I must win it.
I tasted the honey of fame. I don't want to lose my championship status. This is going to be a war.
Orlando Salido is a two-time world featherweight titleist who took the WBO belt from Lopez in a decisive win last April in PR. Salido's 5th round knockdown of Lopez remains fresh in the minds of these Puerto Rican fans who hope for a different outcome this evening. Knockdowns were the subject of our Facebook poll and the results are in. We asked you, how many knockdowns do you predict in tonight's Salido-Lopez rematch? Al, very interesting numbers.
I would have voted for exactly what the fans voted for. What about you, Antonio?
They said 2 knockdowns. I would have said 2 each, so 4 in all.
Okay, you like those knockdowns.
So there are a number of Hall of Fame fighters and luminaries in attendance tonight.
Ivan Calderon, one of the best smaller weight fighters of all time, a consummate boxer from here in Puerto Rico, who also had matches with great Mexican fighters. Jorge Arce, who's the WBO bantamweight champion. You've seen him here on Showtime. He is a spectacularly exciting fighter who was in one of the fight of years last year against a Puerto Rican, Fedor Vasquez Jr. The man who many people believe beat Manny Pacquiao in their last fight. It was the 3rd of their exciting fights. Juan Manuel Marquez, one of the great fighters in Mexican history. And did I say one of the great fighters? There's another one. Julio Cesar Chavez, of course, a multiple-time champion and doing commentary for the network in Mexico. And here's the guy who's been involved in some of the greatest fights in Puerto Rican history. He is well beloved here on this island, former welterweight champ Felix Tito Trinidad.
He looks like he's still in shape and can get in there, even though he's got a little gray in his beard. Tito Trinidad. All right, we're ready for our main event. Which will it be, folks? Revenge or repeat? No longer unbeaten, and now the challenger. Juan Manuel Lopez fights for pride and country. No longer overlooked, and now the champion Orlando Salido fights to solidify his status. Gus Johnson here, ringside in PR, alongside Antonio Tarver and Al Bernstein. And Al, for Juanma, what will be the difference in tonight's fight?
Well, he hopes what will be the difference is that he will be able to box as a disciplined boxer and be intelligent over maybe the course of 12 full rounds. But I have to say, if he does that, Gus, it will be the first time he's ever done it in his career. He did go 12 rounds once before, but that was in a war against Rogers Matagua. He is a fighter that has to change his personality. And can he do it? And can he be disciplined in front of this excited crowd that will be urging him to be a warrior?
Antonio, this time, Salido comes into this fight as the champion, not the challenger.
But he still feels like Rodney Dangerfield because they just won't give him any respect. He has to do what he did the first time again before people can truly feel that he deserves to be featherweight champion. They feel that if all goes well with Lopez and he gets rid of all of his problems, it's business as usual. They're not taking this guy serious. I think they're overlooking him once again.
All right, this crowd is really riveted, fired up, and ready to watch the rematch. Salido taking on Lopez, and the rivalry continues between Puerto Rico and Mexico.
You look at some of these great fighters, and Antonio Robert talking about Wilfredo Gomez, who fought everybody and had great fights with the great Mexican champions. This one will certainly go down in history as one of those.
My favorite on that list is Salvador Sanchez, even though he did not get a chance to fight all of the Puerto Rican fighters, but I think he would have had many more on that list.
Packed house here in San Juan, ready to watch their hometown hero face a Mexican warrior. This time, Juan Manuel Lopez will come into the ring first. The last time he came into the ring, he came in with pyrotechnics. It'll be interesting to see how he enters this time. Juan Manuel Lopez, no pyrotechnics, fireworks, and outrageous outfits. He comes in a man determined, a man focused, and a man seeking redemption.
You know, he is 9-1 in title matches. The only time he ever failed, obviously, was against Orlando Salido, and that's the only time he failed as a professional. Here's a man walking into this kind of excitement and crowd, and he's got to turn that motor down once the fight starts. There's a lot of energy here.
You're absolutely right, Al, but at the fighters meeting, he was not the same Lopez. He was more stoic, he was more serious, and I think it's going to take a very serious Lopez to get the job done tonight.
What's going through the mind right now of Juan Manuel Lopez? He comes in front of his home fans, trying to regain his belt.
This entire island has been afire in the last few days, and the outpouring of this emotion now is a part of that. But again, he has to sink this in, but use this energy in the right way.
You know what, Al, even though he hear all the cheers, he know all of his loved ones here, he should block it all out. He has to have tunnel vision tonight, and he's going to have a great case of amnesia, because he's going to have to forget about the first time he met Salido.
Felix Trinidad, a good friend of Manuel Lopez. We know what his prediction is. Apparently he just gave it to us, huh?
The champion, Orlando Salido. The last time we saw him here, it was the greatest moment of his boxing career. as he stopped Juan Manuel Lopez and took away his title in his hometown. Ironically, he revisits the spot of his greatest achievement, defending his belt on foreign soil. Why would he agree to this kind of situation, these kind of conditions, when he's the champion?
You know, he didn't have a second's doubt about coming here to fight this fight. He told us, it's a business decision. He said, I don't care where I fight. He is the road warrior, a little bit like your old pal Glenn Johnson, who goes everywhere.
And you know what, Al, that's true. But guess what? He's proven that he can do it once. So all the pressure's on Lopez. Why not? I beat you here before. I'll come back to your hometown, the scene of the crime the last time, and do it again. That's a true fighter and a true warrior.
And you know, we have to remember that this man, we talk about him maybe not getting a decision, but remember, when he stopped Lopez the last time, that was controversial. A Puerto Rican referee who did stop the fight on his behalf. So while he's walking into a lion's den, it's not a place where he necessarily will get a raw deal.
And that brings us to the tail of the tape. Lopez Salido 2 here in San Juan, Puerto Rico.
As you look at these numbers, obviously some of them are very similar. The one that I think is important, and maybe for different reasons, is the age. Salido is 31. He's been a pro since he was 15 years of age. Now you would think that means he's more shop-worn than Juan Manuel Lopez. Not necessarily so. Lopez has been in many wars as well and taken a lot of punishment as well.
All right, we are ready for action here in San Juan. Great crowd in attendance. So let's go to our ring announcer, the classy Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, welcome to Coliseo Roberto Clemente in San Juan, Puerto Rico for the featured bout of the evening. Brought to you by Top Rank Incorporated, NPR Best Boxing in association with Sunfer Promotions, Tecate con Carácter, and Showtime. Sancionada por la OMB, Presidente Francisco Valcárcel, Supervisor Jorge Molina. Introducing our judges, scoring from ringside, presentando a los jueces. From Minnesota, Denny Nelson. From Florida, Michael Pernick. From Puerto Rico, Cesar Ramos. And our referee in charge of the action, Roberto Ramírez Sr. Bien amigos, esta es la pelea estelar de la noche. All right, fans, here we go with the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing in a rematch for the WBO Featherweight Championship of the World. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, en vivo desde Puerto Rico, it's showtime! Introducing to you first, the challenger, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing purple trunks with silver and black trim. He weighed in at 125 3/4 pounds. Presentando al retador, el orgulloso guerrero boricua en la esquina azul. Tiene un peso de 125 libras y 3/4, currently ranked the WBO #1 contender with a record of 31 wins, 1 loss, 28 wins coming by way of knockout. Con un récord de 31 victorias y 1 derrota, tiene 28 ganadas por la vía del knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the hard-hitting two-time champion of the world, clasificado número 1, peso pluma de la OMB. Aquí está el campeón mundial 2 veces de Caguas, Puerto Rico, introducing Juan Manuel Lopez. 126 libras. With a record of 37 wins, 11 losses,